Hello, this is Brian from Pioneer RESA, and I just want to show you a teaching tool called TodaysMeet.com. And feel free to email me, call me if you have any questions about this tool. So what is TodaysMeet.com? It is actually a live public back channel. And if you've never heard of what a back channel is, there's lots of people who are just like you across the world. And what it is, it's a way to maintain real-time online conversation while someone else is speaking, also known as multitasking. And this is a 21st century skill, even though some of us would wish we would never have to do this. It is a skill that many students will need to know how to do. And it's a great outlet for student feedback, communication. There is no logins for anyone, so this is perfect for K-12. And multi-device use, iPads, tablets, laptops, smartphones. You can get students involved in all kinds of ways. So let's check it out. What is this? TodaysMeet.com. Well, it looks like this. Very basic, non-scary, and you can name your room. So a teacher will set up a room, or a student could, if you allowed that. So I could say, and we're going to look at a science application. So I'm going to say sink or swim. And it says it's available. Wow. So that's great. Sometimes it will not be available if it's a common name, like if you wanted to call your classroom Williams, there's probably a lot of Williams. So that's probably already taken. So you may have to get creative and put a number in it, or put your area code or zip code or something. Just know you can do that. And delete the room. You can set when you want the room to be deleted. If you were only going to use this for a day, then set it to a day, because someone else in the world may eventually like to use that name. And there's no reason to hog it if we're not going to need this for a whole year. So today's presentation, I'm only going to need this for about 10 minutes here. So I'm going to say 2 hours. And I'll create the room. There we go. So now I have a URL, todaysmeet.com/sinkorswim. I would post this on my projector on the board and have all the students go to it in pairs, or in a lab setting. They can all get on a computer, however you like to do it. And all the students need to give their name. I suggest first name only. If you have multiple Brians, you can get creative, say Brian B. If you want to keep it real anonymous here, you could have them do some kind of student number, or you can make up a number for them. So I'm going to join, and I say I can't wait to learn about Coke cans, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. We're going to look at a video. There we go. And here it says when I posted it, it said who posted it, and it was Brian B, and all your students would be down here. And this is a great way for them to give feedback based on your lesson, about your discussion, about what other students are saying, or about media that you are playing. And that's feedback to you or feedback to other students. We can also get a projector view. If you wanted this just to be projected on the wall so they can see it in a class setting, you could do this projector view. And there is no comment section here. When the day is done and you just want to get a transcript, you could take that transcript of everything that was said during that project that day and save it, copy paste it, put it in a document. You have documentation of that activity. So this is what it looks like. We can get multiple students in here. It's a lot of fun, and I do want to give you a practical way to use this in a K-5 science environment, or any kind of environment really. You can do this with anything. But we're going to watch a video that encourages inquiry-based learning, and that means it doesn't just flat out give you the answer. The students have to think and try to figure out why things are happening. And while the video is playing, you would suggest the students to give input on today's meet based on questions that you have prepared, and then allow them to respond to one another. That could be later or during the video, depending on how long the video is. So let's go and practice, see what that would look like. So I already have a video queued up.
All right, so fourth graders around the state do this whole unit on nutrition. It seems to be third, fourth grade they hit this nutrition thing, and so I love to pull this out for that one because sometimes you don't really even know what you're drinking.
Perhaps, and there's few kids that don't love soda. They will try and beg and negotiate
everything, and absolutely. So this is kind of fun. Just a tank of water, all right. And notice all of our cans of soda just had a nice variety of Coke and Diet Coke and Pepsi and Big K and whatever. None of them have been opened. All right, so they're all kind of the same. All right.
Okay.
So question for you: if I take the can of soda unopened, float or sink?
Sink.
Why?
All right, so you may pause it and ask the students the same thing. What do you think will happen in this can? This is just a Coca-Cola can. Soda, it's full. It's not open, and they would give you some answers, and maybe you ask them why. Why do you think that? And then also maybe base it on, or give them another view. And why? What do you think would happen to an off-brand? Do you think off-brand's any different than a regular brand, unless it's just Coca-Cola compared to Big K, whatever that is over there? Then of course you have diet. So there's some other points you can ask the students.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
I don't know, because there's still stuff in it.
Okay, there's stuff in it. Good.
Right, there's still.
Okay, good. Right, nice.
Right.
All right, and if the students were right and they actually guessed right that the can would sink, then you would hear cheers across the room. There would be instant engagement, and the kids who guessed wrong, of course, would want to make sure they get the next question right. So they would definitely be engaged as well.
How about Big K? Float or sink?
I'm going to say sink.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
Now, did you have parents that used to throw the can into the swimming pool and then you had to dive down and get it?
Oh,
And
that's
it kept
part
us
of the
busy?
big swimming
thing for 4th
Are
of
you
July.
kidding? That's
All
so
right,
fun.
So
for
now,
4th of July.
Diet Coke is exactly the same, 355 milliliters, 355 milliliters, float or sink?
Sink.
Absolutely, so that one will sink as well. And then if we try the Diet Pepsi, wow, there must be
Wait
an
a
air
minute.
bubble. That's what it is. There's an air bubble. And oh my gosh. Wait,
All right. All right, so that's where we're getting to the meat of this project, and students are now trying to figure out, without you telling them, what is going on here. And we're going to look at those activity questions again, and we wouldn't want to finish the whole video because this gentleman will actually give the answer and talk about what is going on, and tell about the difference in volume. The volume is the same, however, that the regular sodas that have sugar are more dense, and that's kind of what we want students to kind of figure out, but they won't know that just by watching if you stop it here and not finish it. Alright, so what is causing them to act differently in the water, and then also how could we test the cans even further? I mean, it'd be amazing if we had a student who was in this back channel. You have students talking about this and really feeding off each other, and then saying, what if we could take the cans and empty them and put them in clear cups? Are they going to look the same? And then you could talk about volume again, how the volume should be the same, whatever 150 milliliters, whatever those cans are supposed to be. But then one student may say, well, wonder if they weigh the same thing, because my grandma makes some really sweet tea, but my mom makes she makes unsweet tea, and I know they're different, so maybe we should weigh them, and then you can start talking about density. So this could be a really fun activity to teach about those two things. So here's some tips. First names only for students. This is a live public back channel. Anybody could go to that sink or swim for that 2 hours that are designated. So just keep it safe. First names. Students can be anonymous if you wanted by signing numbers again. This is a great 21st century skill here. And a lot of people think this is just only like a Twitter thing or a Facebook thing, but I don't think this is going away. And that's using the @ and a username when addressing a specific person. So, if you have a student who's trying to address another student's response in your back channel, they would say @Brian. Why did you say that the Diet Coke will float? Because you had it right. Why did you think that? And then I could have said, "That was a good guess" or something. So they can communicate to certain people by using that, or if it was to the whole group, they wouldn't need this designation. I would suggest giving them 5 minutes just to learn how to use TodaysMeet. Maybe do a fun activity, allow them explore. And that is a teaching tech tool called TodaysMeet.com. And I think it's just a very fun, useful tool that is very fast to use. There's not a big learning curve for that, and teachers wouldn't be too scared to try that out in a setting. So feel free to email me if you have questions. If you have some good success with this, I'd just love to hear it, and tweet it and just tell other people about it. So thank you.